Welcome everyone to the game between Wesley So and Praggnanandhaa in the Armageddon of the Norway Chess. While Wesley is entering, Pragg is making his final preps on the mobile phone with his second Vaibhav Suri. Gives a topper-like vibes there, Pragg, preparing for the last minute. But I think the interesting thing about the Armageddon is that you can play the same opening that you played in the classical game and improve upon it. And I think that really proves to be valuable if you are well prepared. As you can see, the players are now settled down. 10 minutes to white, 7 for black, and this disadvantage of 3 minutes is compensated by the fact that a draw is okay for black. If it is a draw, then black has won the match. So this Armageddon game is a fight for half a point, because right now both have 1 point each thanks to the draw. Whoever wins gets extra half point. Knight f3, d5, e3 played here by Pragg, and Wesley pauses a bit and goes knight to f6. You have c4, the English, c6 played. Knight comes out to c3, and now Wesley brings his knight to d7, taking up a semi-Slav setup with e6 and bishop d6. Queen comes to c2. So you will see that white is not pushing the pawn to d4. Because every time you push your pawn to d4, it gives black more options. Bishop can come here, knight can take the center. So e6, b3 played here. And now bishop to d6. Bishop b2, castles, and bishop e2. Calmly putting out the bishop. Now, many ways to play. e5 is one move, rook e8 is another move, queen e7. All of these have been played many times, and Wesley pauses a bit. He is taking more time than Pragg. Queen e7. And rook g1, and look at Wesley there. He goes back and he realizes that Pragg is going at him with the ideas of g4, g5, h4, h5. That's what he wants to do. b6 played. And I think it's time for Pragg to start rolling on the king side with g4. This is getting super exciting now. Will Pragg play it? Yes, he does. Pawn to g4. And he presses the clock. He's only spent 35 seconds until now. Meanwhile, Wesley has spent over a minute. Bishop b7. And now pawn push to g5. Okay, you have to go back to e8. This has been played before, but white's position definitely looks very nice. h4 now. Let's rush ahead with the pawns. Black, on the other hand, will prepare for moves like e5, e4, or even sacrificing a pawn with e5, d4. But Pragg goes h4. And now an important moment. I think the best move now is bishop a3 to trade these bishops, because this bishop will be a very powerful attacker. The other idea, if you go e5, is also possible, but he goes c5. And this is not the best move. This actually gives white a very good position. So now white can play h5. He pushes forward, pawn to h5, and Wesley is left wondering, like, what should I do? Should I touch my kingside pawns? If not, he's coming at me with moves like h6 and g6. Okay, you could potentially play rook c8 and do nothing, but I have ideas like cd, ed, knight to h4, already looking at f5. I have long castle in hand. So with all these plans, it's not at all easy for Wesley to play. And he's also burning a lot of time. He goes rook d8, and you see he's remaining flexible. He's not taking on c4. He's not pushing. He's just asking Pragg to make a decision. And Pragg can now go for this plan we mentioned. cd, ed, knight h4 with the idea of knight f5, or he can castle long. Just these pawns lurking here put so much pressure on the black king, along with this bishop and the rook x-raying the g7 square. It's insane. I think it's a good moment for Pragg to take his time and react here. He has a lot of time on the clock now. Almost twice the time of Wesley. Pragg is thinking hard here. And I believe he is calculating these ideas like CD, ED, knight h4, or even something like knight b5 attacking the bishop. Long castle is in the air. All these possibilities. He plays long castles. Let's go. On the attack, the rooks have now been connected. He pushes pawn to d4. Wesley realizes that it's important for him to play in the center. And if e takes d4, then c takes d4, knight takes d4 is met with maybe something like knight c5, bishop comes to h2. There could be some compensation. We can also think about taking on f3 and then taking on d4. So these are the possibilities. He goes knight e4. Pragg does not even touch this. He's like, I'll put my knight here on e4. And maybe f5 is a very good move. He goes e5. But this does weaken the f5 square considerably. And now if Pragg is able to find knight h4, knight f5, he could be very close to getting a winning position here. Wesley has pulled back some of the time on the clock and knight h4 played here. What a beautiful move by Pragg. And yes, this structure for black has limited the bishop on b2, but the knight is strong, the other knight is strong, and also f4 is a very, very interesting option to just simply hack open the pawns in the center. He plays pawn to g6, stopping knight f5. And now Praggnanandhaa, well, how does he respond here? I think a very decent idea is to, bishop d3. He's lining up on the g6 point. You have a queen and a bishop and a knight and a pawn. Knight g7 played, attacking the pawn on h5. Now h6 would not be the best because it closes down the position, and that is not right now what white needs. So taking on g6 feels like the right decision, but Pragg ignores it. He plays f4, very sharp move, and the best move now is e takes f4. I believe Pragg wouldn't want to take e takes f4 because after bishop e4 he's better, but he may want to take e takes d4, but instead Wesley takes on h5. That is a mistake now by Wesley, and Pragg is now better. Once again, the move that is very powerful is f5. Just pushing forward. It's amazing. And we are on move number 19. Pragg goes f5. Great move. He's going all in on Wesley's king. Right now, Wesley So is a pawn up. But how can he survive this attack? Rook d f1 also coming in. Goes bishop c7. And now rook d f1 to put the rook on the open f file. I like how Praggnanandhaa is pacing himself, taking time for every single decision in the game, and he plays rook f1. Very good. Wesley moves his king to h8, and now a very strong move is bishop e2, because if you go knight g7 back, I have f6. So Wesley now, after king h8, is waiting for Pragg to make his move. In fact, time situation, both have almost equalized on the clock. Bishop e2 found. A very, very good move by Praggnanandhaa. And now Wesley has no real good answers to bishop takes h5. He goes knight b8. If you take on h5, he wants to play d3. And then the e4 knight is hanging. So Pragg has to fully calculate this carefully. Bishop h5. Of course, gh5 is winning for white. So d3. queen to d1, bishop e4, and now just queen g4, and getting into a huge attack would be the best way to continue. And so Pragg thinks hard, chops off the knight on h5, bishop takes h5, and if g takes h5, oh, he goes d3. It's a good decision, because instead of spoiling the structure, you get the knight on e4. Let's see where Pragg moves his queen. He is low on time now. He plays queen d1, a good move. Bishop e4. So Wesley gets the important knight in the center, and Pragg goes queen g4. Excellent move, attacking the bishop. The bishop can take on f5, but you can also go back to b7, when after take, bishop g6, white is close to winning. So that's the reason why bishop f5 has to be played, good or bad. And Wesley So, well, he's thinking about his decision here. It's not a happy or an easy one, but he has to make it. Pragg has attacked his opponent's king mercilessly. The bishop on b2 stands right opposite the king on h8. And will Wesley take on f5 is the question. He's still not decided yet. He's down to 2 minutes 26 seconds. He takes on f5. And now knight takes f5. He takes it. And queen e6 played. So if you play knight h4, you can play knight here, because if you had taken here, queen f5 and white is clearly better. So queen e6, knight to h6, takes on h5. And now Pragg is winning in many different ways, but the simplest is to pick up the pawn on h5 and then pick up the pawn on f7. Pragg is thinking, he goes queen takes h5, good move. And now the f7 point is tremendously weak. If you play king g7, rook f6, and the other rook is planning to come in and attack there. So he went queen g6 here. And now Praggnanandhaa, well, he has a simple way of gaining material. Trade queens and then play knight to f7 check, winning the rook on d8. Takes, rook takes here. Rook comes to f6, stopping the knight from developing, because rook c6 could come in. Also the bishop on b2, very powerful. Wesley So thinking about all the possible defensive ideas that he has in his arsenal. He goes knight d7, rook c6, bishop b8, rook f1, taken and played within no time. The only way Pragg can lose this position is if he's not careful about the clock. Rook e8, but he started to play so quickly. Knight to f8, and knight e6 is the plan. And Pragg now, well, he's gone down to a minute. He goes rook f6. Excellent move. And black now must decide what to do. And Wesley So is burning up almost all his time. He's down to a minute. Rook e7 played. Can we go rook c8 and then f8 and b8? Both are hanging. He goes rook c8, knight d7, rook c6 played. And Pragg is almost about to win this. He's thinking here. King f7 by Wesley. And rook to d8. He pushes his pawn to e4, but in doing so has opened up the bishop. Bishop f6 check. I mean, it's not a check, it's attacking the rook. But then good or bad, you must take it. Otherwise, if you move the rook, d7 will fall. So bishop e5. And now you can take on e7. But also a very powerful move is rook takes d7. And if you take back, then bishop e5 with an extra pawn. So rook d7, rook takes, and rook f6 check. King here, bishop f4, and white is a complete piece up. Wesley So resigns. Praggnanandhaa scores his first win of the Norway Chess 2026 in the Armageddon, and this one was a complete clinical finish by the youngster from India. And we hope that you enjoyed this video. We leave you with moments after the game in the playing venue.
Preparation for this game?
No, preparation was
Yeah.
regretting how I played.
Are you able to take positive side of the
Have you managed after finding out those variations? Destroy basically him in the Armageddon.
Yeah, but that's what happens every game. Yeah? You find out that you mishandle things. So.
Pragg, congrats on the win against Wesley So. Was this your first Armageddon win since Norway Chess 2024?
Yeah, I guess so. But at some point, I did play some online chess.com events where I played some Armageddons, but I'm not sure if it was before Norway or after Norway.
And in the classical game, Wesley made a small mistake with knight c7. Did you realize you were you had a little chance there?
Yeah, it's surprising that I just didn't even consider g4 because usually I see like all the options for me, but yeah, here somehow I just wasn't looking. I think I wasn't focused well, so yeah, it's something that should be alert from the get-go.
And in the Armageddon, do you think c5 was his final mistake? Was the attack easy after that? Or where do you think was the conversion easy for you?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I mean, at some point I just started pushing g4, g5, and it looked, it was just flowing for me. I mean, the only way I could probably spoil it, which probably I was at some point coming close to, is getting low on time, trying to figure out all these calculations, which is not practical in this game, in this time control. So I was just trying to keep pushing, play by intuition. I think it sort of worked.
Yesterday, just arrived from Bucharest from the long game in Super Chess Classic. Has that helped you get in shape here, or was it just tired and you're trying to how is that coming from that tournament?
Both. You're also warmed up, but also it is tiring, and I'll try to get as much sleep as I can.
Wonderful, great start, Pragg, and all the best. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wait, are you sure that photo was separate?
Yeah. I took a video.
One.
Det är bra.